right, and it appears we are live. What's up, everybody? Um, Mr. Drew. Good morning. Here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience, episode 93. Gonna continue. It's Patreon Day, man. Come on. It's Good Friday. Come on. I'm gonna continue this patron character sketch. And yeah, I'm just gonna continue the watercolors. I still got the supplies out from last night. Looks like some of the watercolors, uh, they dried up, but it's watercolor. I'm gonna splash a little bit of water on it and see if this works. See if I can still use it. I felt bad, man. I drip dropped those things out, and yeah, ended up not using them. Can't believe I spent 3 hours on just the background alone. But hey, man, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna pick this up. Let me adjust this camera, get it nice and flush. And man, this morning is cold out of nowhere. I got the door open, so if you hear the traffic or wind or just like whatever ambient noise around in the background, hey, it is what it is. Got chat up, got my color references up, and yeah, what do I want to start with? Because I know I got to use the red, I got to use the green. Should probably just go with the green first. And honestly, I may be able to use some of the blue for the a bit of his armor. Yeah, so here, let me shake shake the paint. Drop the paint, and yeah, let's begin. This isn't a lot at all. Let me dry this brush, grab some of this color. Oh snap, it might be a little too windy with the door open. I might need to shut it a bit. It's blowing papers over here. See, now there seems to be like less pigment in this green ink. It seems to be a little more watery or something. So I got comfortable with the blue. But yeah, working with this green will probably be a different monster. Man. So yeah, I watched latest episode of uh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier this morning. What was it? Episode 3 just came out. Dog, I can't. I just been thinking about how much people, when Marvel did the rollout, and specifically talking about the shows. I remember there being like a poll of some sort, and it seemed like Falcon and the Winter Soldier was like the least anticipated one. You know, I forget. Isn't it? There was 4 shows altogether, right? Like TV shows, not counting movies. I think what was it? It was WandaVision, Falcon, and- Falcon and Winter, and then Loki series, and then what else? What was that? The last one? Because I think Blade's a movie, Shang-Chi's a movie. You know, I'm even wondering if this brush is too thick for what I'm trying to accomplish. But I just keep reminding myself that this is just a base coat, and then I'm gonna be coloring on top of it. So yeah, everything's a little oversaturated. But yeah, man, I'm now that WandaVision's over, it ended with a bang. We got the outfit and all that stuff. We got the magic. We got the Wanda upgrade. And it's so funny, man. It's such good storytelling. How, you know, you gotta look at their schedule, and I probably should revisit their schedule and see what the thing was. I can't even remember what the 4th TV show was, unless it was the What If series or something like that. But yeah, maybe I should look it up. What is it, Phase 4 or Phase 5 or something at this point? Uh, Marvel rollout. Okay, maybe that's not what I should look up. Probably what Marvel uh, schedule. Right. Oh, this is probably old. If I type in, yeah, 2021. Okay, so Black Widow, that's a movie. Loki, that's a series. The Mandarin. I don't even know if this is legit. Hold on. Hawkeye, What If? Yeah, maybe Hawkeye was the other one, the fourth show. Cause yeah, I've been hearing about that in the reviews and everybody talking about how trying to set up they're trying to set up the Young Avengers, which could be it. But I just remember when Disney did their rollout and they were just like, yeah, this is what we got planned. This is what's in the pipeline. Obviously people are looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier, but you know, showing off Loki stuff and WandaVision, how crazy that looked. I think people just kind of push Falcon and Winter Soldier to the side. Kind of like, it's just gonna be business as usual. You know, not exciting or something like that. Me personally, I don't know. I was interested and I was super interested in WandaVision just because I was like, yo, TV shows and stuff. What's going on here? But yeah, now we're on episode 3 of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I gotta say, man, I am super impressed. And I mean, I said on an earlier podcast where I said Wakanda's gonna get involved at some point, and I don't think they were like teased at all. You know what I mean? And spoiler alert, Wakanda gets involved, one way or another in this latest episode. There we go. And that's gonna be the jacket. That's the padding. But yeah, I just love where this show's going, man. I was thinking about like the writing and the storytelling and everything that they're doing, and it's brilliant. We got a glimpse of it in WandaVision, but WandaVision's picking up where Endgame left off. Spider-Man 2 picked up where Endgame left off. Falcon and the Winter Soldier's picking up where Endgame left off. It's very, you know, the linear storytelling with characters that we're familiar with. And now there's we have the Loki series coming up, and of course everyone's looking forward to that. Big Tom Hiddleston fans or Loki fans. I was sitting there when I was drinking coffee this morning trying to figure out, now is the Loki appeal because of Tom Hiddleston or because of Loki? Like how much of the fans are in it for Tom Hiddleston and how much are in it for Loki? I mean, he plays the role so well; they're almost synonymous with each other. But yeah, I was just sitting there trying to figure it out. So I don't know. Let me know if you're more of a Tom Hiddleston fan or a Loki fan. I'd just be interested in knowing. I mean, me personally, I don't I don't know if I've watched any of Tom Hiddleston's work outside of Loki stuff. So I'd say I'm probably more of a Loki fan than a Tom Hiddleston one. Not saying that he's not a good actor or anything like that. I think he's brilliant. I just haven't seen any of his other work. I know he did like an AMC show, stuff like that. Uh, Night Watch or something like that, Night Shift, and I haven't seen it yet. I remember, that it came out years ago, and someone told me like, yo, you should watch that for sure. I just haven't gotten around to it. All right, yo, why is it so cold today? That is so crazy. Like it's like freezing. It was cold enough where I just opened up the door. It looked like it was cold outside. Maybe it's just the morning dew, and once the sun completely comes out, maybe it'll warm up. But either way, um, so I've been sitting here. I was watching Falcon and Winter Soldier this morning, man. It's so good. It's so good, and going back to the writing, I'm so impressed with how the way that they're making this work, and it's so obvious after, I'm gonna say it, but a lot of people are, contemplating what could these shows be about? What could WandaVision be about before it came out? What could, uh, Falcon Winter Soldier be about? Who cares? There's no Captain America. Who cares about a story without Captain America? You know what I mean? Things like that. Like that was kind of the consensus beforehand. And I gotta say, man, they are knocking it out of the park. Like the way that they manage to the stories that they're telling and how they're telling them is it's brilliant. It's brilliant, man. I don't want to spoil anybody or anything, but I may mention things from time to time. Um, like I was watching the episode. I watched it twice this morning. I watched it the second I woke up, and I'm kind of foggy and hazy. I'm brewing coffee, and you know what I'm saying. Oh, by the way, I probably should take a sip of that coffee over there. Give me a second. But yeah, I mean, the first episode was the first episode. You know, it started with a bang. I believe the director was even like interviewed about it, and she was just like, I think it's a she. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And she was just like, I just wanted to make it. I just wanted it to be so action packed that people were exhausted afterwards. And to me, that says a couple of things. One, it's like, okay, obviously you want to start the show with a bang, duh. But two, it's like, they're not going to be focusing on action so much. So let's get the action out of the way. Let's open up with something super crazy. And once it's done, it's done. And then we're going to move on to the story because the story is is what we want to focus on. Um, Not to say that there isn't going to be any action, but, you know, it's a TV show, even though it's big budget, and even though they do have the money to do like a bunch of action scenes, why not make it count when it does happen? So instead of having 10 action scenes that are like bombastic with a crap story. Like, you know, you gotta plan this stuff out. Either way, I like what they're doing, but the first episode was the first episode, and it was just there to set things up. I know some people that I talked to, they weren't, they're not like hype about it. They were just like, this is whatever. Like they're just getting down on it. I was like, word? Like I think this shit is brilliant, man. I think it's brilliant what they're doing. I mean, they're making compelling stories and they're using the characters that they have at hand. It's not all about Captain America. It is, but it isn't. You know what I mean? It's about uh, Sam Wilson's struggle to live up to what the icon and imagery is. It's like trying to fill in Batman's shoes. It's like I'm not Batman. Not that that's a good or a bad thing. That's just not who I am. Sam's like I'm not Cap. Like that's just not who I am. Maybe he just didn't realize at the moment that maybe it should have been up to him to decide to be the type of Captain America that he has to be. And I think that that's what this journey is going to be about for him, is that you know I this is what just a guess, but I'm going to say like he's going to end up being Captain America, but he's going to understand that he's not going to be Steve Rogers, you know, that he's going to end up being the Sam Wilson, and he's going to stand up for whatever Sam Wilson's Captain America stuff does. Obviously I'm guessing he's going to be a good guy. He's not going to be like a corrupt douchebag type of Cap. And I mean, look at the journey so far. Episode two. Episode two, I think, was so far beyond episode one, as far as like quality storytelling. And I mean, that's how it should go, right? You know what I mean? Like you should have you want the story to build and you want it to get better. You don't want the first episode to be the best episode and have everyone feel like, you know what, I didn't need those other nine. So it only makes sense that you try to get the story better. And honestly, I'm okay, I do remember the action scenes. It was the truck fight, but the truck fight had a lot going on, but it had a lot going on with filming actors. Didn't have a lot going on as far as like special effects and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Nothing compared to like zipping through the Grand Canyon, or I guess they were in like Tunisia or some shit, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like zipping around through rocks and including CG and da 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 da. Like nah, the truck fight scene. Um, I'd say more production was pumped into just coordinating the actual actors that are in there, while the first episode's opening action scene was all about like CG and production and not much of it was like actual footage type stuff. And but even though the action wasn't like there like that, they made it so compelling. I mean, with Falcon and Bucky going back and forth, and flags, our introduction to Flag Smashers, um, and then Captain, the new Cap, coming in and kind of wrecking shop, just for all of them to fail, but at whatever they were doing at that moment. But yeah, but still, the second episode was so nuts. I can't I can't stop thinking about Isaiah Bradley. I just can't stop thinking about it. They talked about how even before the show started, I watched a bunch of stuff and they were talking like, oh, are they going to bring up Isaiah Bradley? Because in the commercials before the show started, they uh, they had Sam Wilson like in a voiceover on one of the commercial spots talking about that Shield has a complicated past or something like that. Like he had a line like that. And as soon as like that line is said, that's when all the YouTubers were out there like, oh, Isaiah Bradley, Isaiah Bradley. There's a black Captain America, and I don't know anything about this stuff. I don't do the research like that, and it's not out of like disrespect or anything like that, or I'm disinterested. Like they're doing that, so that's why I watch those channels. They put in the hard work, and they can relay the information to me, and I just kind of ingest it, enjoy it, and but I turn it around to think about things, and I was just like, man, I wonder what they're gonna be doing as far as like this Isaiah character, because we never heard about him in the phases 1 through 3 or 1 through 4, however many phases there's been so far. I don't know if we're in phase 5 now or if this is phase 4. I'm kind of forgetting, but either way, it's probably phase 4, right? And so when I learned about his character and how he might be coming up, and when you hear that line, that shield has a complicated past, it's like, ooh, they probably are gonna bring him up. And then lo and behold, episode 2, right off, off rip, it's like, yep, here's Isaiah Bradley, here he is, and the man comes on the scene, crushes it, makes makes your heart bleed for a second, and then just as soon as you're like invested, they cut it. Get out of my house. and uh and it's like, holy shit. Like, Isaiah Bradley's not gonna be some new shit, he's some old shit. And then they had like him and his past with the Winter Soldier, and being like, yeah, I remember kicking your ass and ripping your arm off. And it's like, oh, I want to see that movie. I want to see that movie. Like, legit. I want to see the whole, you know, the old war era stuff, and the story with African Americans going to war, and how whatever their units are, they are, but getting experimented on, and maybe not like at the best, with the best cause or the best uh, intentions behind the experimentations, things like that, like some real crooked monstrosity things. You gotta imagine how many monsters like Hulk and Abomination are out there, and to have these monstrous experiments going on, and then to have a man actually come through on the other side, and not turn into a monster, where he was actually successful. And to see that movie, and then have him go up against the Winter Soldier, when the Winter Soldier's prime Winter Soldier, if he was going around killing for 90 years, whatever it was, you go back 45 years or something. I don't know, it might have been like Vietnam War or something like that. It might, I'm guessing it's past World War II. And you have like this jungle, like I couldn't get my mind off of it. Again, I'm an imagination guy, my brain just like fires, it goes. Do I need any more green? Am I all done with the green? I believe so. I mean, unless I'm gonna. Oh yeah. Ooh, so I do need some yellow, maybe. Right? Maybe not. Maybe I'll just use green. Again, this is just the base coat. So yeah. I mean, I want to see that movie so bad, and I even felt shitty because I was like, oh, maybe they can add it in, in the cartoon, in the what if, and it's like, this isn't a what if. This is like for real, for real. This is real deal Holyfield shit. So it's like, ah, shit, we can't even get it there. So like, if we get it, that's gonna be like mercy on Disney and Marvel to give us that in one way or another. You know, maybe we'll get snippets of it. You know, if what I think comes to fruition, where Sam ends up being the Cap and taking up the mantle by the end of this series, one way or another, you know what I mean? However he does it, because it seems real tentative at the moment. Um, you know, maybe when we do the Falcon Captain America trilogy, uh, we'll get snippets of the Isaiah Bradley history just kind of thrown in the background, because you got to sit there and think like how much that has to affect him. You saw it in the acting in or you know I guess in the script in episode 2, where Sam was just like, you knew there was a black Captain America, you never told me. Like it, that shit cut him. That shit cut deep. And yeah, I'm gonna drink this coffee. Give me a second. Yeah, these are just the base coats, man. These greens aren't gonna be so vibrant once I'm done with them. I mean, same thing with the blue. I kind of like the blue. You know, the whole intention with the blue was to actually throw some black in there. But maybe I don't do the whole thing black. Maybe I just like kind of pepper the black in and wherever I need it to be. And then, you know, that way I allow the blue to breathe um, as it is. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some black in the background. Maybe just not as much as I thought there'd be. Got to be a little bit more methodical about this stuff. Oh, okay. Alright, so I think that's it for the green. Let me, oh yeah, I do need yellow. Look at me tripping. I don't know why I'm trying to avoid using yellow so much. Just use that shit, right? Even if it's just a drop. Oops. Yeah, let me shake it up first. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, that Isaiah Bradley stuff, I can't get it out of my head for some reason. That's just and I'm just interested in it for what it means to Sam, you know, as far as this story goes. Like, yeah, I know I'm talking about how I want to see. Oh, damn, there's so much water on this. Talking about how much I want to see. Uh, Hell yeah. How do I want to do that? Am I just gonna keep that red? Or am I gonna make it like an off color on the inside? I do have two reds here. Maybe I just do one red on the inside, another red on the outside, so that way, yeah, that's the way I'll do it. Yeah, maybe I'll do it that way. Um, oh yeah, I guess I can use a bit of the yellow. Starting as a base coat for skin. much of his face is covered in that red paint. It's just like around his eyes and below. Okay. And then a couple of dots there. And kind of there. Alright. Here, let me get a picture. Progress, you know? Progress shots. You know, I mean, what kind of monster tail do you think? Oh my god, it came out sideways, motherfucker. Okay, let's go back. I'm sorry. Try this again. I don't know why my camera... Well, I know why it does it. Let's be real, I'm just upset with myself. I didn't realize it was taking it sideways. There we go. Okay. Set my phone down. Go back to the references. Get you here. Oh, now the eraser doesn't even want to stay still. Hold on. Okay. So annoying. I'm probably gonna need to get like some of that sticky eraser shit, whatever that shit is. But yeah. Oh, I already got some ink on there. Shit. Alright, and this is like a dark red. Damn, maybe I wanna... Let me see what this other red looks like. Yeah, see? This is more... This is what I need, a little lighter, a little more orangey red. I wonder if I want to work on him first. If I want to get this frog first. There we go. Yeah. I'll just do this. Fuck it, you know? Does it go all around his eyes or just above the top? Yeah, look how much pigment's in here, man. This color carries. Gotta go in and go hard on the paint. I do not think I am a flow. Back for me, I'm ready to go. I'm in spots. I'm in my moss. The great pain is damn. I'm looking for shock, you know. Ain't red like 80%, you know. To the band, you know, whatever you can so in the case of those, but everything's gonna be fine. You know me, I do not mind. You know, I'm like a heaven, dude. I gotta pack a medicine. Fuck up on time. Slide into my DM. I roasted it and I'm feeling incredible. Me up. I feel it too loud in the club. Can you pick me up? In the same king, in the same be still right king. King in the stain, king in the stain. Got the bees in the trap, got the cheese on the string. In the stain, king in the stain, the king in the stain, be stain right king. King in the stain, got the bees in the trap, got the cheese on the string. Damn, this color's got a lot of carry to it. I gotta I gotta flare this out a little bit. So, I mean, think about it. A movie of like Isaiah Bradley, like I was just talking about with the monsters and things like that. You got all these abominations, and who knows how many of them are out there, before Hulk. And it's like you have this sort of monster movie going on. Holy shit. Yeah. Sorry, I'm listening to this Screen Crush where they're breaking down episode 2 of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I must have missed it all week. I am in the middle of talking about episode 2, so you know he's about to bring up Isaiah Bradley. There we go. Where else does he have this? Around his lips. Yeah, so his lips are gonna be red too. Alright. So I think just gonna continue listening. I wanna hear him talk about Isaiah Bradley since I'm in the middle of talking about it. So that's a problem. I should probably not put on things that I'm interested in listening to when I'm in the middle of streaming. That way I could just kind of carry my thoughts. He's still talking about the fight scene on the trucks that I was talking about earlier. Yeah, come on. Yeah. There we go. Wow. Yeah, he's talking about the Isaiah stuff now. Yeah. Yep, we did get Bucky's internal dialogue. Damn, I'm botching up this eyeball right now. I wonder if I should have used the bigger brush for this. this is just gonna be the red for his eyes, but this frog is more or less gonna be orange. And I gotta get his lips as well. Frog lips. So yeah, man, thank God that video's over. Hate trying to hold a thought. What was he talking about? Oh, okay, so this guy's talking about Dota now. Maybe I should just... Is there another podcast I got on the list? I could just throw that shit on. Just something that'll play for a few hours and I don't need to like really listen to it. I could just mindlessly tune in and out. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Perfect. There we go. Brilliant Idiots podcast. I don't have to really pay attention too much. So, yeah, man, I can't stop thinking about Isaiah Bradley and the implications there. And I mean, not just in how much I want to see the movie or, what I imagine, the story of to be as far as like Isaiah Bradley and Winter Soldier going head to head. I mean, however many experimentations are just running around in like facilities somewhere, just locked up, not being able to be free because, they're failed experiments. So they're like property of the government or something. And like how monstrous that is, and him getting sent on a mission, go take care of Winter Soldier, and then he goes and does it. We all know how like badass Winter Soldier is, just from the Cap movie. So to like see him, let's say like in his prime Winter Soldier moment, like 45 years in, I don't know. I think that'd be super dope. And then like obviously it'll be successful. The end is spoiled. But then just to see the scene where he comes back, he's successful, mission accomplished, and the government's like, "Thank you," and then they slap like some handcuffs on him, and then just take him to a cell, start experimenting on him, and then like you just end the movie that way, like, oh, this is how we thank our heroes, sort of thing. Imagine what kind of what that says, about think about veterans. Like I live out here in Florida, South Florida. I mean, I don't know about other places, but like the homelessness out here, especially where I stay at, like we see it. I know this homeless dude. I shouldn't say I know him. I don't know him. He, but he kind of circles the area that where I live a lot, and just another abandoned soul, man. The guy's clearly got like mental problems, and he looks like an old Vietnam vet too. He's like an old dude, and who, for one reason or another, just You know, maybe the family isn't even around anymore. Maybe all the family died, and whatever was help carrying him and letting him live a life before he became homeless. Like, who knows what his story is? But you know, I see a Vietnam vet when I look at that guy, and then you hear about all the stories about how difficult it is for these soldiers to acclimate themselves when they come back from war and things like that. You know, we've been all the Afghanistan stuff and things like that, all the war movies that we watch in theaters and things like that. The Isaiah Bradley story, it's a racial story, but it's also just one of like war and soldiers and you know to paint it underneath the Captain America flag, the Captain America banner. It's like, yeah, it's comic books, but also, you know, the way that they tell these stories, the way that Disney and Marvel have been telling these stories, it's like, you know, there's a bit of truth in there. And, you know, I think that'd be killer to share those sort of share those sort of stories. It'd be bold. So yeah, I just think it'd be super bold. And then it's like, how do you get out? How do you get released after 30 years of that? You think they would just like let him go? Like just because he's out and released doesn't mean it was done properly. He could be on the run. He could be wanted by the government. And obviously, I'm not trying to like speak ill of America or anything like that, or the services. I'm pretty sure it's understood that like Hydra had taken over the American government, so I'm sure whatever would have been experimenting on him would have been like Hydra, which obviously ain't like our America. But yeah, I mean, and I'm thinking about it more so for like what it means for Falcon. Like Falcon learning about that, having to sit down, talking with him. Hey man, tell me your story. What is up? And then like he learns about it, and at the end of this series, maybe he speaks with Isaiah, and then he helps him come to terms with the Captain America that he wants to represent. He wants to represent one that doesn't, that obviously isn't Hydra, which again would still be in line with, Steve Rogers' Cap. Now they both have the legacy of battling Hydra. I don't know what it means for Bucky, but I think in episode 2 when Bucky is like, if he was wrong about you, then he might be wrong about me. Maybe that's just what salvation is for Bucky, is like to see Sam take up the mantle and do it and recognize, okay, yeah, they both battled Hydra. I can kind of rest easy, and he can go and continue his apology tour. Yeah, these paints are looking super rough, huh? I'm struggle city with these. I think it's because I'm using a small ass brush, man. Let me check out this big brush. I've been afraid to use it because I feel like there's still blue ink on there, and I can't like get it out. I've tried a few times now, and no matter how many times I rinse it, the blue ink just stays. But here, let me. Okay. There we go. See, just use the bigger brush. It'll cover more ground. I don't know why I've been shying away from using it. I could have covered this frog so much quicker. Again, I'm learning, I'm relearning the watercolors, and I'm sitting here thinking about the small details that I'm trying to capture, and yeah, I'm just relearning it and relearning like, oh yeah, like these bigger brushstrokes would have definitely served what I was trying to do here a lot better. My bad. See, look at that, man. This thing is still carrying. That's what I've been looking for. That little brush kept drying up every 2 seconds. Not that that's a problem, but it doesn't help me with what I'm trying to do here. There we go. Tight. Fix this up. Fix this up. But yeah, I mean, not to get stuck on episode 2, because I did want to talk about episode 3 without spoiling things, but just to lead up to it, just because like now after episode 3, you can kind of start seeing where what these two characters' stories are, and you can kind of guess where they're gonna lead. And like I said, I'm really invested in this Isaiah Bradley, Sam Wilson storyline that's going on. I think it's you know what I mean? It's all about telling a story. I think it's an interesting story, straight up. Let me BRB. Gotta hit the bathroom, man. Coffee. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so am I gonna let that go like that, or yeah, fuck it, right? Damn, that's like damn near purple. I wonder if even want to use that. What color is this? Why would I? Why would I use that color and not? Oh well. Yeah, let's try round two. Mm. Oh shit! I forgot to put the green down there. Hmm. But yeah, I am still curious as to what does happen with Bucky. Like if I like I'd hate for him to be reserved as a sidekick. You know, I think he definitely deserves better than that. Damn, too much water. So yeah, I've been struggling to try to figure out where does Bucky end up with all this. If Sam ends up with the shield, with the wings, you know, painted red, white, and blue, looking like the comic book cover, the classic Sam Wilson, Falcon, Captain America cover that we all know what I'm talking about. And Bucky, you know, finds restitution. Now, what happens if I do paint this with a little bit of red, with this purple color? Yeah, how do they call this a red color, man? It's so purple. Let's see. Take this. There we go. Is that part of the sash? Yeah. So, okay. So these are all through. Okay. And yeah, I guess, thinking about it, maybe Bucky ends up, that whole White Wolf thing. I was talking about how Wakanda's gonna come up eventually. Let me spitting on the paper. That Wakanda's gonna show up eventually. At least I thought it would. And then in episode 3, sure enough. Because I'm like, man, even in episode 1, when the doctor lady is interviewing or counseling Bucky, whatever you want to call him, he goes, I had some rest, some quiet or peace in Wakanda. And maybe that's all he needs, man. Maybe that's all he needs. Maybe that's the story. Soldiers who have that long resume, maybe all that they need is just some peace or something like that. Just trying to think of how do they make it satisfying? Fitting in for the series, but one where, maybe they retire Bucky, but maybe not. Like I wonder if it's gonna involve a sacrifice, if Bucky has to sacrifice himself in order for Sam to live, and then that also helps Sam come to the realization of like, okay, I'm gonna take up this mantle. I'm clearly the only man to do it because it was between me and Bucky, and now Bucky's not here. I mean, what a beautiful way to even racially, that a white guy sacrifices himself for the black guy, and a black guy standing up for all the other black guys, and it's like, okay, white people and black people coming together type shit. I don't know, but you can't write a story about race without, you know, or talk about a story that's talking about race without bringing up race. I know that's such a sensitive subject. I don't want to linger on it. But yeah, I just wonder what's gonna happen with Bucky and what's gonna happen with Wakanda. You know what I mean? Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. I forget what the reports say, what they want to do, but I think they're like, nah, like we're just gonna honor his death, let him be. So I wonder if they're gonna do like some he got killed off camera type stuff, which they could do. I mean, nobody wants that, but it's like, what can you do at this point? So it is what it is. There we go. So, let me pick this up. Oh, damn. Is this also a part of? There we go. So yeah, episode 3. I can't stop thinking about Baron Zemo. Holy shit! They ended episode 2 with like, all right, we need to go talk to him. So I knew episode 3. I was like, all right, they're gonna talk to him, but boy, I had no idea. I had no idea. And this goes back to what I was saying about like, man, the writing and the stories that they decide to tell, and how genius it is, because it's like Baron Zemo plays such a big part in such a big role in Cap. You know, maybe he was kind of short or truncated on Civil War, but Civil War was such a big movie that I guess you couldn't really focus on him too much. They kind of just told the story. Hey, this is what's up. He's angry, and and it is what it is. And you know the whole Black Panther at the end of it, can't. I'm tired of letting anger consume, and anger has consumed you, and it's consumed them, and you can't let this anger last. That whole spiel in Captain America: Civil War. So to bring him back, but man, the actor that they have playing him was always such a big actor. I mean, I really enjoyed him on the Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards. I mean, I hated his character on there. I was like, fuck that guy. But that was the point, and that was the role that he was playing, and he's still playing a bad guy. So I mean, he's still he's still on brand to be hated. There we go. But yeah, god damn, they made Baron Zemo look so good in this episode. I mean, that man brought some sex appeal with him. He's playing a bad guy. He's still playing the same Baron Zemo, but the man just got so much swag on here, and it's just like, god damn, I hate to love this guy right now. I hate loving him. And now we get the Zemo, man. He got the white fur collar with the black dots on it. He dons the purple mask. Like, oh my god. Like, man's had so much swag on him. Man was all the drip. He was all the drip. But like, how much drip Zemo had? He had all of it. Where all the drip went? Zemo took it. Like, and it's so interesting too because it's like it plays, the Captain America stuff, it plays with country, obviously, like it plays with like America. But because Captain America 1 were fighting Nazis, World War II, it plays with Germany. And then because of Civil War, or because of Ultron, plays with Sokovia, which is in Europe somewhere. Just like Germany, it's in Europe somewhere. And it plays with the concept of countries and shit like that, like everything that's going on with like flag smashers and things like that. Like it's amazing how much the culturally iconic things or the country iconic things are play such a role so smoothly. And here you got Baron Zemo with his with his accent that you know and a character that we already know to not like, and we're trained to dislike, like bad guys. What was that movie I used to watch? Thank You for Smoking, with Aaron Eckhart, Two Face. He played in this movie called Thank You for Smoking. I watched it on repeat. Such a good movie, man. It's a really good movie. It's one of those rare movies that I enjoy that has no action in it. You know what I mean? So anytime I watch one of those movies and it's on repeat, those had a profound, uh, effect on me or whatever. They just stick with me. But Rob Lowe, I believe it's Rob Lowe. He has a small role in that movie, and Aaron Eckhart's character goes to meet him, and he's like a Hollywood producer or something like that. Balling out of control, crazy, crazy office or whatever workplace that he has, and he's like an executive or something like that. It's Rob Lowe. He looks the part, plays the part, he does the whatever, and they're talking movies, this, that, and the other. And he has a line in there where he mentions, they're talking about bad guys, and oh, the typical Ravs, and he goes Ravs, and and he's like, yeah, Russians, Arabs, and villains, and he goes, ah, okay. And it's funny how they just throw that out there, like they just brand bad guys like that. And that's what I mean by, like, we're trained to, I guess at least as Americans go, if it's not American, then, and we're talking make believe here, then it's like the enemy. Obviously Americans play bad guys in American movies all the time, but if you're doing one of those big fantasy things, you always get like an outside source. And Captain America playing with countries and things like that, like, yeah, that was kind of Zemo's role. He had an accent. He was despicable. He didn't like him, and he served his purpose, man. But in this episode 3, dog. Oh my god. Mans came with the heat. Mans came with all the swag. Mans was like, and they throw you off too, you know what I mean? Because it's Falcon and Bucky, and they're walking together, and we end this second episode where they're like, all right, we need to go holler at Zemo. And then episode 3 we pick up, they're gonna go holler at Zemo. They're at the thing, they're being told like, oh, okay, he's in this cell, go down the end of the hall, blah 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 blah. They're walking down the hall, unguarded by the way, which is crazy. It was like, damn, they just let these motherfuckers walk through. And and then Winter Soldier, or Bucky stops Falcon. He's like, this guy ain't gonna like you. Like, let me let me handle this. Let me go talk to the man. I'll figure this out. Which is crazy. Came out of nowhere. It was abrupt. It's like, what? Like, yo, the show's called Falcon and Winter Soldier, not Winter Soldier. You know, stops Falcon and tells him like, let me handle this solo. So immediately I'm on like high alert, and now it's like, oh shit, we're turning Baron Zemo into something. He hasn't even like showed up on the screen yet, but you know Bucky's taking the initiative on this, which is interesting. Damn, too much water. Too much water. Not enough paper. Um, and yeah, man, Bucky walks in there. Zemo's in the cell. They got their history. I don't want to spoil it, so I ain't gonna talk about it like that. But obviously it was gonna come up. Like I shouldn't be spoiling anything for you. And man, it's so good. You know what I mean? I love to hate them in the other movies, but in this episode, I hated to love them. I was like, because at this point now, I've been watching them for years. It's been years since Inglorious Bastards. You know what I mean? And it's been years since Civil War, even though Black Panther was the big walkout from that one. Like we all knew Captain America, Bucky Winter Soldier was dope. Like the whole movie was crazy good. I don't watch it enough, and but Zemo was kind of like background, and he was despicable in that movie. You hated him, so it was like okay, I love to hate him, but man, the way that guy was able to just turn it and be like, oh no, you gonna hate to love me. Like I'm about to tear this shit up, and what I'm talking about is the man brought like he brought sex and sex appeal into the into all this action that was going on. We're watching Falcon Winter Soldier episode 1, 2. We got Fake Cap, he got Sidekick, Isaiah Bradley, like everything is serious. It's all America. It's all this and it's all that. We got Flag Smashers and like don't care about them. Like they gonna get got. Like who gives a fuck? But Zemo comes on screen, coming through with the accent, coming through just like with all the swag. And this is like, beginning of the episode still. And how do I want to do this? See, I can start with the big brush, but I'll have to end it with the little one eventually. There we go. Okay, see, I'm gonna get the little brush to get this hair area. But Yeah, man just chewed up the scene, and then it speaks to his ability as an actor. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously the writing's there and everything's set up, and maybe their goal was for you to uh, hate to love him. You know what I mean? Because he's been so pushed in the background because of Black Panther stealing the movie, and then um, things like that. Now that Black Panther's out of the picture for now, and now that Steve Rogers or Chris Evans is out of the picture for now, uh, maybe. Oh, there's a lot of water on that. Give me a second. Uh, damn. Trying to figure out this man's hair situation right now. There we go. And then yeah, the rest of the episode, he's rolling with them, and whatever happens, happens. But we get to see him don the mask. We get to see him just just kill it. We get to see him do some shit, man. Talk about action. When I was watching it, I kind of, it became kind of obvious of like, when he, I was, I was watching, and I was like, okay, so it's like when he gets off the mask, he chews up the scene, and he's all accents, and he's all sex appeal, and he's all extra European sexy about it. And then the second that he puts on the mask, motherfucking stunt stunt double comes in and then just makes the man look even better. But I wasn't sitting there. I didn't like get the illusion of the wool pulled over my eyes. I was like, oh yeah, he's wearing a mask. Of course he could flip and roll and you know do all this shit that he otherwise wouldn't do without the mask and CGI. But yeah, there was a fucking Zemo, man, stealing the show. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy good, man. There we go. So yeah, man. I'm trying to think like what can I talk about without talking about too much and spoiling it. I mean, at this point, I don't really care. I've said enough, but it's like he was a highlight of the episode for me, and obviously, like it was his episode. They introduce him, they bring him back into the story. He comes in, but it's so funny just how sexy European he is. There's literally a shot of the three of them, Bucky, Falcon, and Zemo, and they're all walking down the street together, and Zemo's just stealing it because he's in his Zemo fit, where he has, he's not wearing the mask, but he's, not out in public, obviously, but he's walking around with like the rest of the outfit on, where he has the purple shirt with the black jacket with the fur collar. They're walking around in Europe, like he's just all the European sexy, and you're looking at Bucky and Falcon, and they're wearing, jean jacket, blue jeans, like, looking all extra military about it and American. And it's like, I could see where Europeans kind of look down on Americans and be like, oh yeah, American fashion is trash. Be out here with like just like sweatpants and t-shirts and shit. It is like, I get it. I get it. Because I got a motorcycle license, and I got a rider's jacket. I got a leather jacket that I wear, and it's a Ralph Lauren jacket, but that shit is so swaggy. I call it my European vest. It's not a vest though. It's a whole leather jacket. But I call it my European vest just because I'm like, yo, this shit is too fancy. It is too fancy. And yeah, Zemo walking around with leather jacket, fur collar. It's a white fur collar with the black dots on it, just like the comic book. I noted, and I was just like, oh shit. There's a scene they're walking in through like a club scene type of thing where there's like bass and music pumping and all that. What was it? EDM or some shit like that. And Zemo's fist pumping. You get a shot of Zemo just fist pumping in the club. And it's like, yo, what the fuck am I watching right now? Like, I love this shit. It takes me back to what I was saying when I started the stream about uh how Falcon and Winter Soldier was like the one that you heard people were least looking forward to watching. Oh, it's business as usual. It's whatever. And it's like, no, bitch. We're talking about race, which is like edgy. We're we're talking about like countries and American soldiers and veterans, which is like something that isn't talked about enough for sure. You know what I mean? If like there shouldn't be any veterans doing bad at the end of the day. Like they shouldn't be. Maybe if they get themselves in that position, sure. You know what I mean? We could only help you so much, but you gotta help them. Gotta help them out, man. Gotta help them integrate and whatever, whatever, whatever. Because I'm jobless right now, I'm filling out a ton of uh, resumes, and every resume is always asking about like, are you a protected veteran? And I still don't know what that means. I should probably ask somebody about that. What does that mean? Like, are you more likely to get a job if you're a protected veteran, or is that just a way for companies to know, like, oh, okay, this guy's a veteran. He's like, let's not hire him. Like, I don't know if it stands to work for the veterans or not. Obviously, no official's ever going to admit that it's not not to. But it's like, I don't know how, if it's on every resume and it's there to help veterans and veterans get more opportunity because they are a veteran or something like that. Or I wonder if there's a difference between a veteran and a protected veteran, because I think that's the verbiage specifically, is protected veteran. Either way, talking about race, they're talking about veterans. You got Zemo fist pumping. like like this is turning out to be so much fun, because you got the back and forth between Bucky and Falcon too. You get the back and forth between them, how much they hate each other, but they got to work with each other, and they love each other. But it's like they get into it, so they have that whole Riggs and Murtaugh shit going on. I'm still waiting for it. Every episode. I'm waiting for one of them to just be like, I'm getting too old for this shit, or I'm too old for this shit. And it's probably gonna be Bucky. He is the one that's like 100. Now, if Sam says it's gonna be Bucky who snaps back at him like, bitch, I'm 100. Like, you better sit your ass down. So yeah, I guess this is gonna go like that. But yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldiers turned out so good. I never, I never doubted it. I just felt the way when people were like, "Oh yeah, it's the one that we're least looking forward to," and I'd be like, "Why?" You know what I mean? And again, I guess it's people just didn't see the story there. People just didn't see the story. They didn't see how it's like we're gonna talk about race because you can't talk about America and a white hero kind of not being around no more, and you know had Bucky not been the Winter Soldier, like he would have been a clear choice, um, just racially, uh, because of the racial narrative that the show is pushing. By the way, um, you think maybe he would have got it, but because he was a Winter Soldier, it's like we can't have a bad guy like that. We can't have that image. And then you have Sam, and it was all discussed on like episode one. And it's like, oh yeah, 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 he's retiring the shield. Good, 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 good. Gimme, 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 gimme. Here you go, white man. And it's like, oh shit, like they're doing it. So they're, all that stuff is being discussed, and it's all juicy, and yeah, it's just turning out to be so much better. And I wonder how much people are gonna mention that, are gonna be like, you know what, I wasn't looking forward to this one, but it's turning out to be just as interesting, if not more interesting than WandaVision. Like that's the thing that I'm thinking about is some that a thought that I had this morning. Maybe it was yesterday or something, but I was just like, you know what, the rollout, the rollout that you show these shows in, it does matter. It does matter. Because you're always trying to push the story and do it bigger and better. And because this is a cinematic universe, like um, and that's what makes Black Widow so interesting is because we thought we were already gonna have it by now. So now I'm like, man, is the story gonna take a step in the back seat, or did they tell a story that was so good and so juicy that it was like, you know what, we need to put this on the back burner. We need to tell these stories first. So that way, when we get to Black Widow, it's a little more interesting. Because I remember watching Spider-Man 2 in theaters, and when the multiverse line came up, uh, I remember being thrown a little off guard about that because it's like, yo, they're just casually talking about the multiverse when it's never come up before. Like it wasn't treated like a reveal. It was treated like nah, this is what it is. Yeah, this how we living. And I always thought that was strange. And then WandaVision comes up, and now they're talking about uh like whatever, with the kids and creating realities and things like that. And then how that could be like a multiverse thing. You got her kids, Wiccan and Speed or whatever their names are. Like so that is what that is. And I think all of this still happens before Spider-Man, so now it makes sense about the rollout of like, oh, okay, WandaVision probably could have came out before Spider-Man, but then they would have been telling like just bring Vision back from the dead immediately, and maybe they didn't want to do that while they were still planning on bringing Scarlett Johansson movie out, and we don't know what that's about, man. I'm still curious, like if that has anything to do with the Soul Stone and maybe her coming back or anything of the sort like that. Damn, I just spent a ton of time on that. Let me see. What are we looking like? Are we blurry? Are we sharp? Is the shot still clean? Okay. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, no, I just gotta get this stuff and then I'll figure something out for down here. Man. So yeah, dare I say that Cat or Falcon and Winter Soldier is turning out to be more interesting than WandaVision. And I wonder what aspect of it makes me say that. I wonder if it's because it's a bigger story, it's a bigger something of a bigger world or recognizably bigger world since, you know, obviously I would imagine the multiverse is bigger than the world itself. But we're traveling all over the place. Tunisia, Europe. So we're in the Middle East, we're in Europe, we're in America, we're here, we're there, we're up north, we're down south, we're, you know, it's all over the place. All these locations that they're shooting and filming at, like, it is sexy, man. And and yeah, man, Baron Zemo stealing the show. I can't get over that. I can't stop thinking about it. I watched the episode twice just specifically for him, and yeah, I was groggy because I watched it immediately the first time. So it was like, yeah, I was for sure gonna go back and rewatch it. But you know, there's I need some more red. There we go. Maybe that might be enough red. Shit, where am I at? Since the last time I took a picture. God damn, I've done so much. Okay, we're looking good. Oh, I didn't even talk about. Was it? Is it Linda or is it Sharon? Either way, man, the Carter girl. I think she was a surprise, right? Like no one had any idea. At least I certainly didn't have any idea that she was gonna be showing up. She might not have been spoil. You know, I guess that would be the spoiler that I have. There, as much as I tried not to. Maybe that's why I wasn't speaking about her before. But I remember being like, "Oh shit, she's gonna be in here too." Shit, because I thought I was like stretching when I said like Wakanda is gonna show up at some point in all this, and now it makes sense. You know what I mean? When you start seeing the pieces come back together, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is kind of like a Civil War too. You know what I mean? Post blip, 5 years later, 6 years later, like, like it's just wild. And you start seeing the pieces come back together, and I guess it goes back to the storytelling elements where, like, WandaVision focused on Wanda's story, and it did it so well, and it told a great story. God damn, is that too much water? How does this work? that's gonna be on him. So yeah, this goes here. That's right. He's his collar like that. That's what's happening here. I think I might actually finally be warming up to the watercolors, man. It was a rough start this morning. Still trying to figure it out. I mean, this paper clearly wasn't meant to be watercolored on. So that's another thing that's kind of making me a little tentative and holding me back from going crazy. Crazy with it. I gotta stick with a thicker paper than this one next time. But yeah, so the Carter girl shows up, and it's so good to see her because now it's like, oh man, now I can see all the pieces coming together, and now like just like WandaVision focused on Wanda's story and everything, which obviously makes sense, but we only know so much when we go in to watch these things. We don't know how much we're gonna get, but it kind of makes sense to realize how, once they give it to us, like, oh, of course, she's gonna show back up, because when else would she ever show up back up? You know what I mean? Like, what other stories could she possibly be a part of where it'd be more or, more meaningful than showing up in this one? Where you have Cap's best friends and now you have Cap's love interest and now it's all Cap, 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 Cap. And it makes sense though, because it is all about Cap, 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 Cap. So it only makes sense that they tell the story this way, that these people show up. I don't even know why I didn't even think about her, but I believe it was Falcon mentioned her, maybe in episode 2 or something like that, where he was just like, uh, homegirl went out of her way for us, and now she got branded enemy of the state, and I ain't even really think about that. Like I didn't think like, oh, they're bringing her up, maybe she'll be back for this. Didn't even strike me. The thought never occurred. All right. So yeah, it's interesting because I'm like, man, does her character ever become somebody? Cause she in this motherfucker kicking all the ass. Like she was like Black Widow in this motherfucker. She was like American Black Widow in this motherfucker. I mean, she was doing all the tricks. I even watched, like, when I was rewatching her action scene. I was like, oh yeah, look at them elevating what her character does. They started with her fighting, with a guy unarmed, and then they had her fighting with a guy with a knife, and then they had her with the guns at the end. And I was like, see, that's perfect build up, man. That was a great action scene. Like they really showed her off. And and again, I don't know, like maybe it's just for the episode, because I think by the end of the episode she's like, all right, peace out. So the same thing with Zemo, man. Zemo did some shit in here, and I mean, on top of having all the swag, like he like showed out and did some shit. Like I said, he puts on the mask and the stunt double is like, oh okay, yeah, stunt double. He's pulling some shit here, and then but man, like the fact that they're just using this opportunity to just highlight every character, give them some shit to do. Come on, man. I mean, it's it's so good. It's so good what they're doing. Alright. I wonder if I could do this and give his skin a little more. Something. Alright. Yeah, what do I want to do? Nah, I don't think I'll watercolor that part. I'll probably just leave those parts for the markers. Now, I did want to use... Oh, you know what? I got all this yellow. Why don't... Yeah, why don't I just create the orange with, Yeah. There we go. Alright. Yeah, maybe I'll just create the orange with, blending the yellow and the orange together. Or yellow and the red together. That may work, right? Since I dripped out all this yellow, gotta use it. There we go. Um, See, I wish I had just colored this whole thing like this, man. I mean, this is supposed to just be the base color. I don't know why I treated it so. Oh well, I'll get back into it. So yeah, it's gonna be so interesting, man. I'm trying to think what else, who else may actually show up. I mean, if they're pulling all the pieces together from from past Captain America stuff, I mean, Red Skull, who knows, you know, what's going on with him. But what was the little dude name? Zola, the little dude who was like a computer screen in Winter Soldier, who blew up. Like he could easily come back. I wouldn't be surprised. We still don't know who his power broker character is. And at this point, I feel like it could still be anybody. That's the worst part, man. Like in my head, I'm like, ooh, it's Zemo, it's Zemo. It's obviously Zemo, right? They gave him so much shine in this episode. I was like, man, Zemo running everything. But I mean, yeah, when they pulled out Homegirl, I was like, oh, okay, so they're, you know, I guess anybody can come back. Let me see. So the smoke. There we go. There we go. And yeah, finally, this patch and that patch. Oh my god, what are we looking like? Looking like trash. Thank God I'm gonna marker over all this stuff. But yeah, that might be all I have to really say about Captain America Episode 3, man. Just Zemo stole the show. That was insane. The show is so damn good. I love it. I can't wait. And I can't wait to see just how all this plays out because there's still even like Falcon's little military connect kid, the one from the first episode. He was talking to him on the phone, kind of in passing. You just knew it was him because he said his name. But he's like still talking to him. And, you know, there's the idea of him and the character that he plays and the role that he'll end up playing in here. And it's like, man, when you do these episodically, you just kind of sideline some characters. For an episode, and you highlight other characters, and it's like, man, I wonder where all this goes, man. Like, is Carter gonna come back? She might, I imagine. I don't see why not. Like, she's definitely not done forever, but I mean, at least for this series, because she's just like, okay, I did my part, now y'all got to do yours, and obviously that's gonna be towards like, well, maybe not obviously, but I'm thinking that's not gonna happen until like towards the end of the series, which means we're still gonna have a few episodes to go without her. Yeah, I'm gonna have to let this dry. I'm gonna flatten it out. Cause what am I coming up on? We're past 2 hours now. just as I was feeling confident about my watercolor skills, and I start demonstrating how trash I am at it again. Ugh. Probably has more to do with this paper. If it were able to handle water a little bit better. Because what I wanted to achieve was to blend these colors a little bit more so it's not so saturated. But that's why I keep saying, like, alright, well, at least I'll be going over this. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't the end all be all for this. It's just the base layer, but yeah, I shouldn't be dissatisfied as I am right now. Let me see. Man. There we go. Yeah, I'm running out of ink here. I didn't want to put in a whole new drop of color, because I'm gonna call this one, call the end of this episode shortly. As soon as I eke out as much color as I can out of this thing. What are we going on? Going on 10 o'clock? Yeah, so I'll put on the pot of coffee. I'll call an end to this episode, and I'll be back later on today to pick this one up. Now that I got pretty much all the watercoloring done, I might want to do a little something with the smoke here, but other than that, I'm pretty much done with the watercolor portion of this, and I'm just gonna pick it up with some brushes and go over it some more. And after I do the brushes, some inks, and then some color pencils to finish it all off. And yeah, it's gonna be super dope, man. I wonder, do I have any black? No, there is no black paint. I guess I always had the dollar store black paint that I can use in case I wanted to, because I was talking about using black in the background. So yeah, that might be, you know, the reason why I still have use for those dollar store things that I bought who knows how many years ago. Oh, you know what I did forget though? Let me get this real quick. Oh, I'm out of the color. I'm out of the color. I can't do it. I was gonna do a scar, but I'm out of the purple color. So, oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna call it quits on this episode. We're at 2.5 hours anyway, so it's about that time. And yeah, watercolors, they're still rough. I'm still getting there. This is just a base coat. So this is gonna still be a whole ton of work that goes on top of all this to really render out these things. Like you know how I render things out. And yeah, I'm just trying to get the watercolors back in the game so that way I can just get that muscle back and moving and deliver some of the best commissions that anybody can ever hope to hang up on their walls or have digital pictures, to whatever you use them for, wallpapers, this, that, and the other. Um, but yeah, man, I'm G Mr. Drew. It's at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Go follow, like, and subscribe. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, Fiverr. No, Patreon, obviously. Uh, what was I gonna say? What's the other one I'm on? Oh yeah, Instagram, of course. And then yeah, gmrdrew.art is my website. Go check it out. Updating it all the time. I'm gonna be updating it probably today with some stuff. And yeah, man, I want to appreciate anyone and everyone stopping by. Thank you, viewer, for being here, and thanks for chilling with me and watching me struggle through these colors. And at the end, I'm not upset with it because I know this is just the bottom layer, so it's not bad for a bottom layer. And yeah, man, you've been watching the Andrew Glowczewski Experience, episode 93, my first Patreon character commission. Coming along great. Peace out.